Hello, all stations. Hello, all stations. Hello, all stations. This is Whiskey 1 Hotel Quebec Lima, W1HQL. My name is Steve, and I'll be acting as your net control station for the W4SVI Everglades Amateur Radio Club weekly informational net. The purpose of this net is to gather club members and other amateur radio operators to talk about ham-related information, to get on the air and chat, have a good time. All radio amateurs are invited to participate in this net, and you don't need to be a member of the club or any club to check into the net. This net operates at 7:30 p.m. every Tuesday evening on this repeater. And as always, if there is an emergency or if there is any priority traffic at any time, we will yield the net to that and assist in any way possible. The Everglades Amateur Radio Club is an ARRL Special Services Club. We do offer ham licensing testing, yearly field day operations, and other ham-related activities. Our club is also associated with the City of Homestead's Emergency Operations Center, the American Red Cross, and Miami-Dade Races Aries, and will assist in emergency communications support. Regular club meetings occur the second Friday of each month at 7 p.m. And feel free to join us anytime. You don't need to be a member. And we'd love to have you just hang out with us. And where is that at? That's at the John D. Campbell Agricultural Center, and that address is 18710 Southwest 288th Street. That's out in the Redlands. So let's get the net started with some check-ins. This is W1HQL, and we'll stand by.
Kilo India 4, Victor Echo Yankee. West Dade, I have some prep.
Okay, go ahead, Lewis. You take it.
Thank you, Steve. I got four relays. The first one is Kilo Charlie 4, Charlie Foxtrot Kilo Eddie. The second one is Kilo November 4, Alpha Tango Zulu Julian Break.
Go ahead.
The last two are Kilo Bravo 4, Alpha India Lima Frank, and Whiskey 4, Alpha Sierra Alberto.
Okay, I copied you. Alpha Kilo India 4, Victor Echo Yankee. Then I have Kilo Charlie 4, Charlie Fox Kilo, Kilo November 4, Alpha Tango Zulu, Kilo Bravo 4, Alpha India Lima, and Whiskey 4, Alpha Sierra. All good?
All good, Steve. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Lewis. 7-3. Any additional check-ins? Come down.
Kilo November 4, Uniform Tango November, Robert in the Redlands, and no traffic.
Kilo 4, Sierra November Bravo, Jose, South Miami, no traffic.
Whiskey Charlie 4, Bravo Papa, Jose Antonio, Kendall, no traffic. Good evening.
Kilo Mike 4, Hotel Julia Papa, Ron, Redlands, no traffic.
Kilo November 4, Romeo Golf Foxtrot, Eric in West Kendall, no traffic. K4 QKL, no traffic. Sierra, Bill with a relay.
Okay, let's hold right there, get the relay for Bill, and then I'll read out the list, and we'll move on with the net, and we'll just pause for check-ins until the next round. Kilo Golf 2 Charlie Sierra. Bill, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve. I'd like to relay in Margarita, Kilo 4, Charlie Victor Whiskey, and no traffic, Key Largo, 73s.
Roger, great signal coming from Key Largo. Good job. All right, I heard from Kilo November 4, Uniform Tango November Robert and Jose, Kilo 4, Sierra November Bravo, Antonio, Whiskey Charlie 4, Bravo Papa, and then Ron, Kilo Mike 4, Hotel Juliet Papa. I copied Eric, Kilo November 4, Romeo Golf Foxtrot. My neighbor here in Homestead, Kilo 4, Quebec Kilo Lima. That was John. And then, of course, Bill, secretary for the club, Kilo Golf 2 Charlie Sierra, and his lovely wife, Margarita, Kilo 4 Charlie Victor Whiskey. Do I have any corrections on any of those call signs? Nothing heard. Well, we got a little bit of ham radio history here. Happy 45th birthday. Happy 45th birthday. And this is not for a ham radio operator. This is for a ham radio station. And it's AMSAT's Oscar 7. 45 years in space the beauty of it is it still works. And that's an amateur radio satellite, Oscar 7. A little history. At 1711 UTC on November the 15th, 1974, a Delta 2310 rocket lifted off from SLC-2W at Vandenberg Air Force Base, sending AO-7 into orbit along with NOAA-4 and INSTAT satellite. Details about the launch and the initial telemetry reception can be found at tinyurl.com/ANS-321-AO7 launch. So if you want to read a little bit about the details of the launch, you can go to that tiny URL site. I will only repeat it if you ask me. Nearly 7 years of service, AO7 was thought to have reached its end of life in June of 1981 due to battery failure. A retrospective detailing its exemplary record was published in AMSAT satellite report, and that one is available at that same tiny URL site I provided. Though it was thought to be lost back in 1981, there are reports that the Polish Solidarity movement used AO7 to pass messages in 1982 while Poland was under martial law. Now that's some significant history. Let me break for a second. The article that was written in Polish. John, I don't know if you're listening. You may not know this, but if you do, shed some light on it. It is an article with the details. With that details is available at the tinyurl.com/AO-7-Poland. So it was used back in 1982 to pass messages while Poland was under martial law. Really neat stuff. 20 years later, though, on June 21st, that's in 2002, it was reported. A station in England reported that he heard an old-style CW beacon from an unknown Oscar satellite on the frequency of 145.970. This was soon identified that it was AMSAT-7 coming back to life. Despite some pre-launch predictions, what happened was the logic circuits on board, they thought were only going to last 3 weeks, but after they burnt out, what happened was that I guess they corroded and fused, and it brought the satellite back to life. So to celebrate AO7's 45th birthday, AMSAT will be auctioning off a set of gold-plated AO7 cufflinks and a 50th anniversary AMSAT lab coat. That'll be occurring actually this week. So if you're interested in looking up a little bit of history and getting some pretty cool paraphernalia, go over to the AMSAT website, and you'll be able to learn a little bit more about this interesting amateur radio history. You're listening to the W4SVI Everglades Amateur Radio Club Net. My call sign's W1HQL. We'll take check-ins now.
Kilo Foxtrot 4, Foxtrot India Juliet, portable.
P4, Lima Charlie Mike, no traffic.
KM4 DFR, Tim, Cutler Ridge.
KN4 SFM, Howard, Little Gables, stuck in traffic.
Kilo November 4, Sierra Lima Lima, Tim in West Kendall, no traffic.
Zulu Romeo Hotel, Steve, West Kendall, no traffic. Kilo November 4, Kilo Sierra Victor, Fred and Homestead, no traffic.
I copied you, John, on portable Kilo Fox 4, Foxtrot India Juliet. Lima Charlie Mike Whiskey 4, Lima Charlie Mike Ramon, got you down. Kilo Mike 4, Delta Fox Romeo, Tim, got you. Kim, Kilo November 4, Sierra Lima Lima, thanks for checking in again. Good signal down here in Homestead. Kilo 4 is Zulu Romeo Hotel. Steve, same thing, good signal. And good to hear you on the net. And Kilo November 4, Kilo Sierra Victor Fred, another neighbor down here in Homestead, loud and clear as usual into the net. Any additional check-ins?
Kilo November 4, Sierra Foxtrot Mike, Howard, Little Gables, no traffic.
Sorry, Howard. I I had you written down at the top of the list when we were chatting earlier, and I forgot to recap that, but I got you down. Thank you, sir. Hey, if you guys want to see something really neat, you remember last week on the net, I mentioned, if you do remember, that Mercury would be transiting across the sun, and it would be a tiny black dot that would be transiting across the sun. So if you were out there with your sun viewing tools, whatever those might be, you may have been able to see that. But it's even better when you get a telescope that is located above the atmosphere, circling the Earth, and look at a movie of Mercury transiting across the sun's surface. And NASA just released from the NASA Solar Dynamic Observatory, and it shows a transit of more than 22,000 miles above Earth. And to see the movie, all you need to do is go over to spaceweather.com, and then off to the right side of the webpage, you'll see your option to select the date of their publication. Select November the 13th, and just scroll down a bit, and you'll see the article about Mercury transiting the sun, and you'll be able to see Mercury going across the sun and some incredible shots of the background of the sun's surface, if you would. So pretty neat stuff. I played it about half a dozen times because I thought it was just absolutely fascinating. So go over to spaceweather.com and check it out. I'll pause for some check-ins, comments, or anything about the Oscar 7 satellite and Mercury transiting across the sun, and we'll take check-ins also.
Net Control, a question from KN4SFM.
Go ahead, Howard.
Are you planning on doing a simplex after the net? And if so, do you have a frequency picked out yet?
Yep, that was my next thing. Thanks for leading me into that. We were talking last week on 17 meters, and through that we had a three-way conversation. We tried to get a four-way, but I think Bill, I think I heard him in the background, but it just the propagation wasn't adequate enough for us to hear him. But in any event, 80 meters. We're going to try 80 meters. And the frequency that appears to be clear, I've been monitoring it regularly this evening, is 3960. 3.960, 80 meters. And we're going to give that a whirl.
Yes, I'll thank you. 3.960, I'll try to join you later. Clear for now. KN4SFM.
Okay, what's your ETA home?
45 seconds. That's why I interrupted the net to ask.
All right, cool beans. All right, glad you made it home. All right, we'll catch you later on. 7-3.
This is Kilo, Mike, 4, Golf, Echo, Kyle, in Cutler Ridge. No traffic.
Acknowledging Kilo, Mike, 4, Golf, Echo. Kyle, long time no hear, man. Nice to hear you on the air. Hope everything's going okay with you.
This is Kilo, Mike, 4, Delta, Foxtrot, Papa. Ty, in Cutler Ridge. No traffic.
Acknowledging Kilo, Mike 4, Delta, Foxtrot, Papa, Ty. Good to hear you also, man. Hope everything's going okay.
This is Kilo, Mike 4, Golf, Foxtrot. Taylor and Cutler Ridge, and I have some traffic.
Hey, Taylor, good to hear you also, and looking forward to your traffic. Go ahead.
Today is National Macchiato Day.
Macchiato. What's a macchiato?
It's a coffee drink with like frothy milk on top, kind of like a latte.
Okay. Boy, it sounds good. I thought it was some kind of spaghetti sauce or something like that because it was Italian. All right, macchiato. I bet you they have those at Dunkin' Donuts. Maybe I'll try one out just for the heck of it. Okay, folks. Well, God, I'm full of astronomical details today. A neat thing may be occurring Thursday night through Friday morning. That's November 21st through the 22nd. Quickly, I'll just tell you, go to spaceweather.com for the full story. I think that's on the 18th, if you click the date, the 18th, November the 18th. But later this week, the Earth will be passing by a stream of dusty debris from an unnamed comet. Forecasters believe this could cause what they're calling a meteor storm, or an outburst of alpha obviously, if I can pronounce this right, monoceroid meteors. And if you go over to spaceweather.com, it explains it even more in detail. Looks like it's going to be somewhere around the Orion constellation, and it will be occurring late night, so around midnight. And it's a meteor storm where about every 10 years these things have been happening, and it's instead of like one meteor every so often, every couple of minutes or something like that, you might see 30 or 40 meteors at one time. Okay, so it's a pretty exciting event. There's no guarantee that anything is going to occur, but this is what they're anticipating somewhere between November 21st and 22nd, or actually Thursday night, Friday night coming, Friday morning. So if I'm awake, I certainly will be out there, and if the skies are clear, just staring at Orion, and hopefully see some pretty cool meteors. And also, while we were doing while the Red Cross net was ongoing, I think there's some tropospheric ducting going on, because there was another repeater system that was just coming in loud and clear at the same time I was listening to the net on the 865 repeater. So those of you that have base stations, you might want to try to go over to Simplex or scan around the band. You may be able to get some Simplex DX, if you would, on 2 meters. It's worth a try. When we get these cold fronts moving through, it just causes some type of inversion, and you get tropospheric ducting ongoing. So give it a whirl. Also, for you guys that have HF and want to play around on after the net at 8 o'clock, we're going to tune up on 80 meters, the frequency of 3.960. Went up that high to help get us closer to shorter antennas, because as you know, the lower the frequency, the longer the antenna. So 3960 is close enough to the end of the 80-meter band where at least my 40-meter antenna tunes up pretty good, that high up on the 80-meter band. So hopefully you guys have similar luck. But we'll give it a whirl, see if we can get a little bit of a QSO going. And hopefully in the very near future I'll be building a NVIS antenna and experimenting with that so it can improve on 80-meter short-range comms. And if you're interested in knowing a little bit about NVIS, maybe we'll talk about that on the next net. But the acronym NVIS is Near Vertical Incident Skywave Propagation, NVIS. And if you look that up, it'll explain the science behind that, and maybe explain why you don't do very well on local 80-meter comms. Coming from the W1HQL station, a couple of things. I think I remind you all that, and we always should remain in practice pertaining to emergency communications and backup power supplies, etc. And every time I run the net, that's when I exercise my backup battery system, and the shack is running completely on battery right now. So therefore, I get to exercise it, cycle the battery through and whatnot. It adds to the longevity of the system, and it just testing it, make sure it works should a power failure occur. And secondly, from the shack of W1HQL, I'm proud to announce that I've been accepted as a trainee in military amateur, the Army Army Mars. That's the Military Amateur Radio Services Group, and I'll be looking forward to training with Whiskey 4 November W4NTR Whiskey 4 November Tango Romeo Ryan, and looking forward to adding that to my toolbox and experience in other forms of amateur radio operations. So looking forward to that. Okay, it's awful quiet out there. I can hear the crickets chirping, so if anybody wants to make some noise, please go ahead. Give me some check-ins, comments, suggestions.
November 4, Charlie Juliet Golf with a late check-in. No traffic.
Carlos, November 4, Charlie Juliet Golf, got you down. Also, folks, if you are tuned in and you hear Kilo Mike 4 Echo Hotel Lima, the notorious and infamous Ned, today is his birthday, so wish him a happy birthday. Go ahead, Ken.
Just one check me in, please. No traffic.
Copy that. Kilo Juliet 4 Whiskey Ken, got you checked in, thanks.
Steve, this is Eric KN4 RGF. What were you thinking in terms of an NVIS antenna?
There was a plan that I got on the net, and it was using a 15-foot mast. It could be anything you want, and it's supported by the antenna itself. The antenna has 4 legs. It has two 38-foot legs that are 40 meters, 80 meters, and two, I think they're relatively short. I can't remember the exact measurement, but they're perpendicular. So think of a 15-foot mast being held up by four points, and those 4 points are created by the antenna wire. And then you use some sticks to keep the end of the antenna wire about 5 feet off the ground. And then you tie off with, like pegs into the ground, the rope that's holding the antenna taut. And that seems to be probably the most versatile and the best one I got reports on based on reading articles and whatnot. So 15-foot with 4 points. It's a dual band 40-80 meter NVIS antenna, and it takes up less space than one of those long wires.
Steve, is that a homemade or something you buy?
It is homemade, but I believe they also have a kit.
Got it. Okay, that sounds good. I know I try to listen to you guys every day or every time after the net, but no luck. Even though I think we've spoken before, I can really reach out to Europe and all over the place with my antenna, but man, nothing local.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing here. You know, I'm up 30 feet with an inverted V. Perhaps one of these nights I'll drop it down and kind of lay the wire out or something like that, so it's not too much slack in it, and see if I do any better on 80 meters. It's worth a try. What the heck?
Sounds good, Ken, for RGF.
All right, man. 7-3. Yeah, we got about 4 minutes left of the net. Any additional check-ins? Howard, I'll look up that site that I saw that antenna at. I don't know if your email is on QRZ. I'll shoot the email over to you or a link, okay?
Thanks.
All right, folks, you tuned into the W4SVI Everglades Amateur Radio Club Net. For ID, my call is W1HQL. Just a reminder, we're going to be QSY to 80 meters on the frequency 3.960, and we're going to attempt some HF comms local. This will be the preference night for short-range comms on 80 meters. But the antenna is quite critical in that type of communication, and that's why I brought up the subject of NVIS. So if you want to do some homework over the next week and see what that's all about, then we'll talk about it some more on the next net. So something to look forward to, I hope. Okay, and let's take a look at when the next meeting is. Got to shoot over to my calendar here. Only calendar I got in my office now is whatever's on my phone. So it takes me a second to get to it. So the second Friday of the month is December. Oh my goodness, it's Friday the 13th. My lucky day. All right, there, folks. Friday the 13th, December. The next meeting. And the last meeting of the year. You have been listening to the W4SVI Everglades Amateur Radio Club Net. My call sign again is W1HQ. I want to thank you all for checking in and listening to the information that we've been providing you. Hope it was interesting and hope you got something out of it. Make sure you tune into the same time, same place, same station, and we'll catch you if you have the capability in the next few moments on 80 meters, 3960 at 3.960, and we'll try to continue on with our little QSO for the next 15 minutes or so. All right, again, 7-3, this is W1HQL, will be QSY.